Wow.
Do you want your phone? Sorry.
There's our welcome music. Do we have welcome music?
We should get some welcome music.
We don't have welcome
We
music.
don't have welcome
We're
music.
not those kind of people.
No.
Anyway.
But we could be.
We could be. We are here to talk about the first 50 or so, 54 chapters of Wind and Truth. And lest you think this is going to be a 6-hour discussion, no. We're just going to gloss over a few thoughts, ideas we had. And really just want to share where we're at and hopefully hear from some of you.
Yeah.
Is that our plan?
Yes. That's our plan.
Good, because I made some of that up as we went. Don't always know what the plan is. I am supposed to say that...
Spoilers.
Yes, we are not going to be avoiding any spoilers. Nope. If you have not if you have not read Wind and Truth up to chapter 54.
Or the whole rest of the Stormlight Archives.
Or anything else Sanderson has written.
Yes. Disclaimer.
Yeah. Then be warned.
We will expose.
It's not a promise, especially not like it sounds. Okay.
Yes.
I tried to make an outline.
You did.
That is a moment of extra preparation. I don't know how it's going to go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to share, and we have not discussed this beforehand.
We don't know what we're going to say.
Yeah.
So this will be fun.
We don't usually know what we're going to say anyway, though, so this is not different.
And we can never guess what each other is going to say. Like, we're terrible at that.
But we're great at this.
Yes, we are.
I think we should start, according to our outline, you're going to share your favorite moment.
My favorite moment specifically?
Yes. Favorite moment so far in Wind and Truth.
Oh, well, okay, so I have recency bias in my head.
Ah, okay.
But it's going to be chapter 53 when Szeth finally... I feel like something finally happened, which would get into another outline point. But chapter 53, Szeth fights the two... I don't know what they're called.
Honor bearers?
Honor bearers who hold Edge Dancer and...
Elsecaller.
Elsecaller.
I didn't know I was going to be helping your opinion so much.
Okay, let's just say this.
Okay, we're going to say this.
We're doing audio, and I read and have way more free time than him, which I acknowledge. I have way more free time than him. And so I will blaze through a book in a day or two. It's 63-hour audio, so that would take me...
More than a day.
More than a day. It would take me probably a week and a half. But 4 days ago, he said, please stop reading so that we can discuss this without having more information than he has. And so I stopped 4 days ago listening. And so it's not like fresh in my mind. And I've started and finished 2 other books in that time period. So one was terrible. I won't even tell the name of that one.
Wow.
Anyways, but Szeth is fighting these 2 honor blade bearers, and they go down into Shadesmar, and it is classic battle. It's so good. That's my favorite moment of the first 54 chapters.
So would you say that Sanderson's strong point are the action scenes?
Yes.
That kind of feels like what you're saying.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And I don't know that we've ever said, I mean, I think he does a lot of things well.
He does a lot of things
that may be one of his main strengths.
Yes.
Mine is similar. Looking at the early part of the book and trying to ignore recency bias.
Yes. It's really hard.
I think Shallan infiltrating the Ghost Bloods hideout or whatever, and that confrontation with Mraize, which leads to other confrontations, right? Yes. There's 2 more that we've already encountered.
Yep.
But that one first showed just a new level for Shallan, and I think I remember you saying, because we have had a Shallan hater here in the past.
Yes, and she has a moment where Formless comes forward, and I'm like, really? Like, we're going to go back to this? This is going to become like a recurring...
Whoa, we're not doing that part of it.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, we'll get to the other problem, the concerns later. But I'm just saying that I think that was, for this point in the book, that was one of my highlight moments. It was culmination of some character growth. Mm-hmm. It was early action in a book where that maybe felt like it was lacking some action.
Dragging.
But, these are epic fantasies. There's a lot to build up needed. Yes. Anyway, so really enjoyed that part. And it brought forth all kinds of questions and set up future conflicts.
But you mentioned that she started monologuing. So like they captured the two people.
Now see, that was the second one. I did not say that one for that reason. Oh,
yes, because they caught him monologuing from The Incredibles,
so the first confrontation... We're allowed to quote Pixar or Disney films. I don't know.
Yes, we are.
Okay. So, yeah, the first confrontation I thought was great. I liked all the progression, and that's when she goes in the hideout, pretends to be the guard.
Oh, right. And they don't know her like she's...
Yeah, it's the first time she really pulls one over on them.
Yes.
Legit.
Yep.
The next time they meet, it was so frustrating. Okay, we're transitioning now. Let's talk about some disappointments. Or concerns. I was going to do one each, but now I'm doing an extra. This one is not my main one. This is a bonus moment that I was like, come on, man. So, yeah, she had the bad guys beat.
Yep, she did. She totally had both of them captured.
And Shallan starts monologuing and gives them an opportunity. She should have just finished the job. Where was Radiant to come out and stab a dude or a masked lady?
Yes.
As needed. And nope. She spends too much time talking and waffling just so they can get away. And I get that it turns into this plot transition, this plot point.
It felt a little contrived.
Oh, it felt so annoying. It was like that movie when you're like, all right, you won, you got him, take him out, like do the thing.
Do the thing, and then they
don't mess around with ultimate evil. And they're like, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about this.
And then they get away every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I felt like that it was not... it wasn't consistent with Shallan as a character. I felt like that she would have been more quick to act and would have done something to end both of them. But she didn't. She sat there and she paused, and Shallan doesn't pause.
Yeah, I do think, wow, we're really going off on this. We'll see. I mean, I do think you could have accomplished the same thing quicker. Yeah. Just sort of, bam, 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 action, and had the same outcome without that awkward monologue.
Yes, I agree.
So, anyways. Okay, now that we've only said the things that were our favorite moments, what is a concern or worry? I don't want to dwell on the negative. I don't think that's helpful. But what's your biggest concern or worry or thing you have not appreciated as much so far?
So I meter this with, both of us listened to all of the 33 preview chapters prior to Dragonsteel and the book coming out. And they came out 2 chapters a week. And the audio of them was slow as molasses. When I listen to a book, I'm at 1.5 plus.
Now we understand why she gets so far ahead of books.
And it was 1.0 speed, and they were talking like this. It was so painfully slow.
It's probably how they normally do it.
Which it probably is. I don't know. I think they might slow it down.
Some people listen at 1.0 speed. I have met these people. I know.
Anyways,
so... You know with them now?
Yes.
Okay, so we're getting all riled up.
So I meter my reactions or my concerns with, maybe it's just because it was so slow. And it was snail's pace. So the whole first 33 chapters felt like snail's pace. And I get and I totally understand that Brandon has this theme of kind of mental illness throughout all of these books, but it's that idea of, did he write a book intentionally about mental illness, or did mental illness come about in the writing of the book? And through the first 4 books, it was the undertow, and kind of modern problems were the undertow of the story.
You mean undertone?
Undertone, yes. Were the undertone of the story. And now in book 5, it has flipped. And I feel like there is an agenda. I feel like there is an agenda switch. And rather than having the story take the forefront, it is those themes, those modern day themes that I don't feel match with Roshar. And after chapter 33, the action starts to pick up. I also listened at 1.5 speed. And so those things were not as prevalent and right in my mind, because I was more absorbed in the story, because it was at a tempo that my mind was engaged. But that would be my main concern, is that I feel like he has crossed a line going into an agenda.
Okay. Can I try to sum that up?
Yes.
So you feel like you're saying that the story has taken the back seat to the theme or an agenda that is more modern day.
Yep.
And well, okay, modern day is kind of an odd term. Agenda that is not native to Roshar.
Yes.
And so he's stepping out of his world.
Right. It feels like he has stepped out of his world. It feels like it's not Roshar anymore.
What I want to say to kind of build on that, I have listened to, probably not all, but some of Professor Sanderson's YouTube classes from his creative writing class he does.
Yes.
And he actually talks about that very thing.
Really?
A couple times, and I feel like he's kind of got caught in he says to not do that.
Right.
And so, anyway, I should have prefaced this whole section, this what are we worried or concerned about?
Yes.
We do have a lot of faith in Mr. Sanderson.
Professor Sanderson pulling this out for us.
Yes. We've had concerns in other books, and,
we have had
by and
concerns in other
large,
books.
Obviously, given the shelves of his books and works and related swag behind us, he has pulled through for us.
Yes.
So we are still hopeful
Yep.
that he will pull through again.
Again, we're only on chapter 54,
Yeah.
which is here on the books. We still have a long ways to go.
Why don't you point it up here and close? And so chapter 54, we are only like here,
Yeah.
where that bookmark is. So we are a third
A third of the way.
give or take.
Yeah.
Can I share mine?
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
right. Mine is very similar to Heather's. And I'm going to reference a non-Sanderson book here. Recently, we read a book called Bad Therapy
Oh, yeah.
by Abigail Schreier.
Mm-hmm.
Abigail Schreier. There's some politics in the book, and there's some other things, and it may or may not be your jam. But the overall theme of the book I found convincing, and now it's one of those things that after reading that, I now see it everywhere.
You see it everywhere.
And the idea is that in our society, in our American culture, we have become enthralled with this idea of therapy and trying to spend all this time fixing our minds, and that it's actually not helpful in many ways, and maybe actually leading to the problem it's trying to solve.
Making things worse.
Yeah. So I'll spare you the summary. That's the idea of the book. But coming from that and stepping into this, I cannot think of a worse thing you could do to an action-oriented character like Kaladin than to try to make him a therapist. Kaladin as a therapist has got to be one of the worst character transitions I have ever experienced.
And it's very abrupt.
Yes.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm still going through it. I understand. It's not that I don't understand where it's going and what's happening, and character growth is important. You don't want flat, boring characters that don't change or improve or, aren't affected by their experiences. So all those bases are covered. But man, it's, to use the term Brandon uses all the time, he's leaning into this so far, he's got to be falling over on it now.
Yes.
And
again, it's that switch.
Yeah, I think, Kaladin as a therapist is the worst idea I've ever encountered, and I hope that we pull up out of that.
Please.
So far, he is the sidekick with Szeth, as Szeth goes around fighting people. And Kaladin
kind of is bumbling along, kind of like an idiot, I feel like. He's messing up making soup, and it's not, you're just all in his head, which you were all in his head for Rhythm of War, and again, you're all in his head, and it's like...
Yeah, I feel like his mental health arc was good after Rhythm of War.
Yeah.
I did not need more of it.
Nope.
We liked Kaladin for who he was as the action-oriented hero, and in Rhythm of War, we went through some painful chapters of this, but hey, he came out of it, and it was all good. And so that is my biggest concern right now. If this book ends up that Kaladin just is a therapist the whole time, this might max out at a 3-star for me, and that is saying a lot.
That is saying a lot.
There are few Sanderson works, short stories, books, whatever, that haven't gotten a full 5 stars.
Yeah.
For my opinion.
Agreed.
So So those are my concerns. Okay. Now here is the dodgy part. We have not looked forward from chapter 54.
I have no idea. I have been very careful about reading any spoilers, any posts. Like, I know nothing.
And not only do we not know anything, now you may have seen some other guesses. I have not even looked at any content of other people
some predictions
predicting or guessing what might happen.
Right.
If you had to guess one or two things that might happen, what's something that you could foresee going down?
Oh my gosh!
Just give us something. Give us something to chew on.
I don't think this way when I read a book. I don't try to predict anything. I'm just there for the journey. I'm not like murder mysteries. I read a lot of those. I never get the person right. I just am there for the journey, and I don't predict anything.
The whodunits?
Yeah, the whodunits. All your Agatha Christie's, and I just read the 11th Flavia de Luce, and I got to the end, and I was like, oh, that's who it is? Like, I don't try to predict who it is. No predictions for me. I'm just there for the journey.
Just a note. Flavia de Luce is a character in another series not written by Sanderson, and so one of Heather's favorite series.
I love that series.
You could talk about that sometime.
Okay.
Not today.
Not today.
Okay. Okay. What do you got though? Make a guess. Throw it out there.
I still think Kaladin's gonna die. I feel like that would be a really appropriate character arc for him. That he finally gets into those like more fight scenes and conflict things that bring him where he dies. I really think he's gonna die. That's my only prediction.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay.
Otherwise, I have no
And I don't think
I have no premonition.
I'm not going to agree or disagree because that would take away from the fun.
Yes.
Of finding out. And these are just for fun. I am looking. So right now, Gavilar, which is Dalinar and Navani's grandson / nephew.
Yes.
Oh, the family tree.
Yes.
The Kholin family tree.
Elhokar's son.
Yes. Like, he disappeared and went into the spiritual realm. And as of chapter 54, we have not seen him.
Not seen him again.
I think I could see him. I'm not saying it will happen, but I could see him playing a major role. And there was some pre-book talk about how he could be involved.
He could be, that he would become Odium's champion.
Yeah, and I'm not going that far. I can't see far enough, but I think that he's going to have a major effect on the story at some point. We'll see. I am interested. I see a possibility that the weird time difference between the spiritual realm and
the physical realm.
Yeah, physical realm could do weird things to him and his age and his experience.
Oh.
So the problem with Gavilar...
I didn't even think about that.
The problem with Gavilar is he's not old enough to take a part in things really.
No.
But all of a sudden, we have this ability for him to live half a lifetime in a space of a few days if Sanderson so chooses, because time is all wonky. We don't know what's going on yet. Somehow he has a magic watch that appears on this spiritual form self that then keeps track that is synced to the watch in the real world. I don't know how. Yeah, that's a stretch.
It was a stretch. Yes.
I gloss over those things. That's fine. You want to do that? That's great. But
it's just convenient. It's very convenient for the story.
Yeah, and whatever. And some people get upset about those. I'm fine.
Yes.
Anyway, I am looking to see if there is a time, sort of playing with time a little bit to give Gavilar some more life experience that puts him in a place where he can be a main character, a main part of the story here in the back half of the book.
I did appreciate the interaction between Gavilar and Lift. So there's a chapter where Lift is with him and she's playing with him. And I did, that was just a really sweet kind of intimate scene where she was helping him process things. And you don't have a lot of Gavilar before that point. And I did appreciate that scene. I thought that scene was good.
She also taught him to curse.
She did. It was funny.
Earth English.
Yes. Okay. Somebody online brought that up.
Oh.
And they said...
That was another disappointment, but small. We used up our disappointments.
I know.
Okay, go ahead.
I know. There have been more disappointments than likes up to this point, would you say?
I am not saying...
Okay.
I don't know if I would say that.
Did you enjoy the chapters after the preview chapters more than the first 33?
I mean, yeah. Here's the thing. Epic fantasy is about those big buildups. Again, Professor Sanderson talks about this. Fantasy readers are willing to invest for later payoffs.
Yes.
And the reason these series are so long is because we invest so much that the later books and the ongoing use of the same world and characters gives us more return on the upfront investment.
Yeah.
So the first part of the book being a little slower because we're gaining all of the background and experience and understanding the world. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm a fantasy guy.
He is a fantasy guy. I am not.
So, the preview, there's a difference there, but I'm not hating on them so much.
Okay.
I said the part that bugged me. And I agree, by the way, with the things that you were disappointed about too. Yeah, there does seem to be some themes and agendas that are more modern, social and political.
That would not have occurred.
Yeah, that don't fit in Roshar.
This feudal system that is literally like the Dark Ages, it would not, those themes would not exist.
So,
yeah.
Okay, so we said our potential, prediction is a big word. I'm just interested to see if these things happen.
Yep.
So we'll see if Gavilar comes back an older and wiser man. We'll see Kaladin's survival. We're not going to know till the end.
Yep.
I could see, here's the problem. He has main characters in the past, such as Kelsier or Thydakar or whatever name. And he likes to change people's names. Wit and Hoid and whatever. So I could see, even if Kaladin snuffs it,
him coming back in some way.
I could see him having a cognitive shadow that hangs around in some way. Just like, we've toyed with internal discussions. We've toyed with, who might end up with Honor's power.
And cultivation and odium. Yeah.
But I could see him potentially holding a shard. I don't know. There's a lot of places. I could see him going off-world as a way to end his arc on Roshar and without fully killing him.
But he's going...
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, so, this is way past my pay grade.
Yeah.
We'll have to see in the next week or two.
I can now start listening again today because he got to where I was.
Oh, to be a team player is so hard sometimes. So hard.
It is.
Thanks for waiting. You know what? I appreciate that. Thanks for... We couldn't have done this without your sacrifice.
Yeah,
I appreciate
you're welcome.
that.
I do have nuclear war on, it's ready for me to pick up Nuclear War and start reading that while I wait for you.
What is Nuclear War?
It's a nonfiction book about what would happen to our world if a nuclear bomb actually went off.
Oh, all right. Well, that's off topic. Thanks for coming and watching. We look forward to sharing some more thoughts with you soon. And hopefully I get this video out soon.
Happy world hopping. Bye.
We doing jazz hands?
Yes, I do jazz hands at the end of every video, and you always, on our lives, half the time you cut it out, but I always go like this.
Happy world hopping.